Hey trainers, Alakaham here with some more Pokemon video magic, and in today's video I am once again tackling the Fossil Cup, and I am using the Ultra Beast Celesteela, if I'm saying that right. And my whole purpose in using Celesteela is one, because steel types do pretty well in the Fossil Cup, and two, um, Celesteela is part flying type and can run Air Slash, which in general is not a great move, but it does perform pretty well against grass type counters. So the strategy behind my team is that I have Shadow Swampert up front, which is going to take care of a lot of things that steel types don't really want to see, so it should protect my Celesteela and my Lucario in the back. But if I draw out a grass type, then I do have two steel types in the back to help deal with them. And one of those two steel types is, of course, Celesteela, which has an air attack up front, right? A flying type move to do super effective damage. I came up with this idea specifically because I was seeing a lot of grass types, and particularly at my ELO range, I was seeing a lot of Ludicolo yesterday. And in fairness, I have also been running Ludicolo on some of my teams. So that's the idea behind all of this. And I went ahead and put together this team and then ran it this afternoon. And I was able to do okay, even though I did not see as many grass types as I was seeing yesterday. So things have shifted a little bit for me. But that's okay. I was still able to get some cool footage of Celesteela, which I think is a very viable player in the Fossil Cup, especially if you are, unlike me, willing to invest a lot of extra Stardust and candy in order to add a secondary charge move. There are several times in this set that I'm going to be showing you where it would have been great to have a secondary move like Bulldoze on Celesteela so that it could do some extra damage against those steel type counters like Registeel or Galarian Stunfisk, but I am just running one move personally right now. So for coverage, I am running Body Slam. That seems to do be the most helpful across the board. So that's what we're doing. Ideally, Body Slam and Bulldoze would have a lot of play here, although neither of those moves gets stabbed, so I don't know, maybe you want to run Iron Head or something. Go ahead and tell me what you think, if there's a moveset that you believe would be ideal for this particular cup for Celesteela. Meanwhile, I did what I did. And in game number 2 here, I am in a tricky spot because Swampert is going to take neutral damage from everything coming off of this Jellicent, and I don't quite get to my follow-up charge move to take out the Jellicent. My steel types in the back are only going to be doing neutral or resisted damage there, so that was going to be a problem. I'm glad that the Jellicent let through that Earthquake, and now we can come in with Lucario. And my opponent went ahead and let the charge move through for their Mirror Lucario, and I'm running Blaze Kick, so that was able to do enough damage to take it out. And my opponent has, surprise, surprise, a steel type in the back here. So I caught the Rock Slide onto my Celesteela, and Celesteela has very little it can do right now because, again, I'm not running Drill Run as the secondary charge move, or Bulldoze, or whatever it is that this thing can learn. But I am dealing a lot of damage just by spamming out these Body Slams, and it's actually taking the Stunfisk a long time to try and get rid of me here. So I'm going to go ahead and let them take me out, and of course come back in with the Lucario here, saved a shield so that I could defend myself in case they had another move, and Lucario's able to finish off the Galarian Stunfisk. Right, so we're going to run the team again, and I will be planning to keep up with the commentary, maybe a little bit faster now that I've gone through some introductions and everything. We are up against a Skarmory, and this is a more traditional Skarmory, so not running Steel Wing like a lot of them do right now. And all of my Pokemon have some play against Skarmory, but I'm going to stay in, and I was hoping to get to that second Hydro Cannon before they got to their Sky Attack, but given that we had a CMP tie, I went ahead and used the shield and then stayed in because I knew I was going to get to 2 before they could get to another Sky Attack. They decided to just go ahead and take shield advantage and let me have switch, and then they bring in their grass type, and I was barely able to make it to an earthquake there, and they bring in a Poliwrath. This is really nice for me because Celesteela, being part flying type, only takes neutral damage from counter, and we are dealing super effective damage with Air Slash. Air Slash is not the best move in terms of damage to energy generation, but we are chunking off of that Poliwrath with the fast move, and we did get to a body slam there, and so that's going okay. I'm not going to shield here. We got their shields, and I'm thinking that I should be able to block and then farm down with the Lucario, and hopefully I come out of this ready with a move. I did not, and I tried to swap to catch a move. They were very smart and saved their energy, but fortunately for me, they did not have enough energy for a Thunder. They just threw a resisted Vine Whip. Still did a ridiculous amount of damage, but with 1 HP remaining, we are able to take this game with a Blaze Kick. I think their move would have registered, their fast move would have registered before mine did, because Force Palm takes a minute for that animation to go through. So I wanted to click on that Blaze Kick just to make sure that we were able to get our attack through in time, and that worked out for us. Okay, here we have a Ludicolo up front, and ultimately I want my Celesteela lined up against the Ludicolo, so I'm going to come in with my safe swap here, which is Lucario, and they have a Pelipper here. So Pelipper is tricky because it charges up really fast and it does neutral damage with everything, and as I'm sure most of y'all know, Lucario is a big ol' squishy squish. So I should have let Lucario go here because I was not quite going to make it to the last Thunder Punch. So that's no good. I have lost the lead, and it was really, really important to win switch there so that we could line up Celesteela with the Ludicolo. So I'm going to build up as much energy as I can with Swampert. I don't want to give away that I have the Celesteela yet. And figuring they'd come back in with the Ludicolo, which they do, I immediately swap into Celesteela. So even with Air Slash, because I don't have a charge move that's going to do super effective damage or any kind of sizable damage to this Poliwrath, we are going to go down to the Scald. And I probably should have just given up there, but I went ahead and threw the Hydro Cannon. We'll take out the Poliwrath, but then we are just going to get shredded by Razor Leaf there. So I think I should have saved a shield in the mid game. That would have probably gone over a little bit better. I could have defeated the Poliwrath with my Celesteela had I been able to shield that Scald, and that would have gone over a lot better, but hey, you live and you learn. We're up against another Skarmory here, another one that is not running Steel Wing, so that's they're doing more damage against water types by running alternative moves there, so that's wise on the part of my opponent, and they are running a Shiny, which is pretty cool. I'm going to play this more or less the same way that I did last time, except for they used a shield, so I'm just going to start throwing these Hydro Cannons, and then I'm going to swap into Celesteela. Celesteela doesn't have anything to worry about there, and I figured that they would counter swap into anything that was going to seem potentially dangerous here. Now, once again, if I would have been running Bulldoze, then that would have been great, but I was not running Bulldoze. I was, just have the one charge move here. So I'm going to let the Celesteela go down, and I'm going to come in with Swampert, and I'm just going to let whatever the move is through. I think they probably could have taken me out with an Overheat. It would have been resisted, but it would have been enough damage. But they did leave me enough health with that Rock Tomb to be able to get to my Hydro Cannon. So I wanted to be really careful with Lucario here. Wanted to make sure that my opponent was mid-animation so that they weren't catching a move. And they do have energy stored up on the Skarmory. That's why the shield is so very important here. And we are able to farm down with Force Palm. So Celesteela able to do okay. If you're actually running 2 moves on this thing, it's going to perform even better. I really enjoyed running Celesteela, though. The typing is kind of interesting and helpful for the Fossil Cup, and I'd be curious to hear what you think if you try running Celesteela in the Fossil Cup as well. If you liked the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and subscribe if you're interested in more content. Until next time, trainers.